In the midst of dark times, let His light shine through you to show you the way. Have you lost your light in your life? Music artist legend, singer Donna Fargo, you know her song, The Happiest Girl in the Whole USA, hasn't always been the happiest girl in the USA. She lost her light temporarily until God filled her heart again after she lost her husband in 2021 and has managed MS for years. Today, she has a beautiful message for you. This is her story. This is today's Nashville. This is faith. Beautiful Donna Fargo, thank you so much for sitting down with me. What a blessing and honor.
Thank you, Terry.
Welcome to today's Nashville.
Oh, I love this network.
The happiest girl in the USA.
Woo!
Let's talk about it. First of all, before we get into that, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about your earlier life. How did you get started in music? So where were you born?
I was born in North Carolina, Mount Airy, North Carolina, home of Andy Griffith.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, and I had a wonderful childhood, and you know, I just dreamed of being happy. I wanted to be happy.
Were you happy as a little girl?
Yeah, sort of, but there was a lot of fussing and fighting and stuff, you know. I know that drove me. And I was, you know, I had made good grades in school, and I was an okay kid. I mean, I didn't do anything too bad.
Yeah.
How far back do you want to go before I was born?
No. So you went to school. Did you know that you wanted to be a singer? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When did you start
singing? My first dream, I think, was to be happy, and then the second dream was to be a singer. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, and at that early age, you just have this dream. It's just amazing that it drives you, and I'd keep it a secret, and it seemed like it would, you know, just live there in my heart.
Were you singing in church? Or
I did. I sang in church sometimes. I remember once I was singing Mansion Over the Hilltop, and the woman behind me was the most spiritual lady in our community, and she shouted, scared me to death. And I stopped, you know, like that, and I picked back up and finished the song. When I got home from church that day, I said, Daddy, I sang Mansion Over the Hilltop, and Voda Brim shouted when I sang, and she didn't shout for anybody else. So I might have felt like a little bit of an anointing or something, that my dream was okay. I don't know. I didn't think about that much.
Well, what led you into the music then after that?
Okay, I moved to California.
And how old were you then?
My brother, well, I'd finished high school.
Okay.
So 17 or 16, maybe 17, I guess. Then I had to go to college because I thought, okay, I've got to work on this dream, you know. I graduated from High Point College in High Point, North Carolina, and I majored in English. And I had another dream to be a teacher. And I loved English, and I thought, well, everybody has to, you know, needs to know how to talk and all that stuff. So my dream was born to, another dream was born, and that was to major in English so I could teach high school English. And I became a teacher, became head of the English department in Southern California school, and loved teaching. And I always tried to be a really good teacher and gave lots of homework, lots of tests. You know, I thought every kid needs to be tested, you know, but they need to be tested frequently, you know, not just like once a year or once every semester or something. So I wanted them to get used to being tested so that they would, build good habits for themselves.
So when did you realize that from English to music?
In California, I thought, okay, I've got my job teaching. I was doing really well, getting paid. I was a practical person, so I knew that, I had to be great so I could pay my bills and that type of thing. I thought, okay, how am I going to work on this other dream of becoming a singer? And my brother, I lived with my brother at the time, and he was my hero, and I knew he would look after me. And he found a company in LA that was looking for a girl singer to record. And he got the phone number, and I called him up. I was really bashful. I really didn't know what I was doing and was scared. Anyway, I called him up, made an appointment, and I met a man named Stan Silver. And I had taken 2 demos with me that I had made at a little radio station in my hometown. Something like, I'm in the mood for love, one of those old pop songs. And I had a friend that played piano, and anyhow, so we asked the radio station if we could, record that and take them with me, the demos. So when I met Stan Silver, I said, I brought 2 demos of me singing. See what you think. And he played them, and he said, you're country. I said, okay. I almost said which country, but I didn't. I hadn't really thought about it at the time, like trying to designate different types of music and, And the radio stations were so influenced by radio stations that play music or whatever they do. And we had 2 in our town, and they played all kinds of music. So I had from the Beatles to Patsy Cline to whoever. And I said, I think I could write songs if I could play the guitar. Would you teach me to play the guitar if I'm not too much of a pain and don't take too much of your time? And Stan said, yeah. And he gave me a guitar. He taught me to play it well enough to hear the songs in my head and heart. And I just started writing. And, if we both liked them, that gave me confidence in them. And by 1971, I had written Happiest Girl, Funny Face, and a few others, Awareness of Nothing, and I don't know what the others were, but I felt like my dream could really happen, but I didn't know what to do. But anyway, he booked me in some clubs in Southern California. I got my feet wet. I'll back up to when I was in high school, my brother tricked me. He had taken me to a club in South Carolina. And I knew within me that he was going to trick me and call me up, have them call me up to sing. And they did. And I was so scared. Anyhow, I went up on stage and I thought, well, what now? What am I going to sing? And I sang that I'm in the mood for love, I guess. I don't know what it was. I fainted in the middle.
You fainted?
In the song. And the girl singer said, well, you probably should work on your timing. Anyway, so I go back to California now, and Happiest Girl and Funny Face and some of those others that I'd written, we went in and recorded. Stan was a producer and a manager, and we fell in love, actually, and he's really the key to my success, besides my writing, I think.
Well, we're going to talk about the happiest girl in the USA, because that always hasn't been the case for you.
No.
And it challenged your faith.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about it when we come back.
Great. Thank you.
Donna, when did you know that your recordings, The Happiest Girl in the USA and Funny Face, and when did you know that you have made it?
I guess when Happiest Girl went to #1 on the charts, it stayed there for four weeks, I think.
Wow, 4 weeks.
At #1. I mean, you almost have to pinch yourself to believe that, well, this little dream you've held in your heart for so long is really coming true. Because I didn't really know much about the road work or, you know, and in between, I had to get some experience so I wouldn't faint again.
Was it nerves or?
It was nerves.
Where was your faith at this time?
Huh?
Where was your faith at this time?
Well, I had been baptized in a Baptist church when I was 16. And that was always with me, but I didn't really develop my faith then, I don't think. I didn't study, you know, I was busy with school business and everyday stuff. But I mean, I always loved God, knew He was always there. I just didn't have a real close personal relationship, you know, because I didn't study. And you need to study, you know, you really do. And allow God to come into your heart and just every day. I mean, I talk to Him now all the time. Say, God, you've been so good to me.
So from Hollywood to Nashville.
Yeah.
You're recording records. Tell me the time in your life where you weren't the happiest girl in the USA.
Well, we worked the road, and, you know, I was trying to learn my way around the music business and stuff. And in 1978, well, I had left-sided numbness in my body in 1976, and it remained there. We went to doctors all over the country to try to figure out what it was from. And in 78, I had a really bad attack, was paralyzed. Because of the left-sided numbness, we went to a lot of doctors. That's all the problem I had then. And then in 78, I just got sick as a dog. My body was just turning into stone. And so I went to a hospital in California, and they diagnosed me with MS, and they saw me through all the things it puts you through. MS is not for wimps. You gotta fight it.
What was going through your mind when they told you you had MS?
I was just scared. First of all, I didn't know anything about it. And, you know, I studied all I could about, I'd read books of where people had gotten well from different things. I studied spirit, mind, and body, and realized I needed to have a better relationship with God. So I really focused on the spiritual aspect of my life.
Were you upset with Him at this time?
No, never. I never felt like it was His fault. I don't think it's His fault at all. I think, I don't know, we inherit a certain amount of health, and we take on probably some of the weaknesses of our parents and this, that, and the other. And diet is so important, and I want to talk about that. So
from the MS, you're still doing your music
mm-hmm.
and making albums.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the time, how long were you married to your husband?
100 years.
100 years.
We were just like one. Really like one. He was perfect, and I was so immature. I don't know how he put up with me.
But there was a time when you lost him, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I really didn't know what to do.
That wasn't too long ago, was it?
No, it was 2021.
21.
And I remember one day, I just was on my knees praying, and I said, God, tell me that Stan is in heaven and he's all right. We both had COVID, and they sent us to the hospital, and they kept him and sent me home. So it was after that. I said, just tell me, if you can tell me he's all right, I think I might can get along. because I didn't know if I could survive that. And I walked from the kitchen to the bedroom, and the light on his side of the bed was turned on. And I said, hey, God, I didn't turn that light on. He said, yeah, but you asked me for a sign. And I can't tell you what that did for me, because I knew it was a supernatural event based on my something, begging and pleading, you know, for an answer, trying to.
He does answer our prayers.
Yeah, he answers our prayers, and he's been so good to me all these years.
It's amazing that the light on the nightstand was on. What happened after that?
Well, I was walking through the hall, and without any direction from my head, heart, anything, I mean, my left hand opened this cabinet door in the hallway, and we just had storage stuff in there. I didn't even know that I had opened that door and put my hand in there, and it reached in and pulled out a bag of CDs, 6 CDs. And I was shocked. I mean, I knew that I had finished writing the songs. I had finished recording them. And Stan he would go into the studio and mix things, mix the music and stuff, while I'd stay home and just be writing something else. I listened to them and I thought, wow, I forgot we even did these. I mean, I had no music in me when he died. And it was like all that came together when God had somehow turned that light on his side. I knew I hadn't turned the right light on. So I knew it had to be a supernatural help. And it just was amazing. And then that was the second thing that just made me think, gosh, God, you've been so good to me.
In the song.
And so that's what became the All Because of You CD.
He's so good, from MS to losing your husband. And he's still moving you forward.
Yeah.
To do great things.
Oh.
I hear that there's a book coming out soon.
Yeah.
And more music.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it when we come back.
Thank you.
Donna, your new single, You Can Count on Me. Stan's light was on next to his bed. Tell me about this song.
Well, I found it by accident. He was always my producer, and we had recorded several songs that really became a part of that CD, All Because of You, and we have more that I'm excited about putting out later. But I found You Can Count on Me is not in the CD. So and because I've had 2 strokes, and it's really worked on my memory. So I have little gaps that I can't fill in. I mean, it just.
So you wrote this with your husband. You can count on me.
No, he
helped produce it.
Well, he was the producer.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, he mixed it perfectly, and was responsible for all the recording work. I mean, we recorded in Nashville at good studios and all, but Stan, he just knew what to do. You know, he was just, I loved that about him. He was.
What's the song about?
It's called You Can Count on Me, and basically it's about you can count on me if I can count on you. It's up-tempo, it makes you feel good, but it's a love song, really. And it's, when I write, I try to write for the universal folks out there. You know, I think, well, if I've felt something, they probably have too. So then when I sit down to write a song, I think, how can I teach something here or share a lesson that would help somebody in any way? If they listen to a song over and over and over, it can get into their psyche and, you know, it can help you or hurt you. And we're responsible for our lives and what the information that God gives us. in how to protect ourselves. So emotionally and spiritually and everything, I think that you feel that in the song. To me, that might be overstated, I don't know, but I just like it.
Now, you have a book coming out soon.
I do. Well, first of all, in the late 90s, I think it was, I started writing books and greeting cards. So I've written 8 inspirational books and over 2,000 greeting cards for a company called Blue Mountain Arts. And I told Stan one day, I said, I think I could write greeting cards, and I might could help people just in a little bitty way, you know? And before I knew it, he had called the company that I love Blue Mountain Arts cards with those little fluffy edges and things. They're always so beautiful. And so he called them up, and they said, yeah, send us some stuff. So I taught myself to write greeting cards, and I tried to, you know, explore ideas that I thought for different members of the family, like mother, dad, and encouragement cards, like you can make it, you can do what you believe, that kind of thing.
Tell me more about your book.
Okay, the book that's out now is called Everything is Possible with God, and it's with Blue Mountain Arts. I have written a novel that I don't know what to do with, because, you know, it's not my field. I will try to work on that very soon. It's called Heartaches and Mindstorms.
Is it based on your life, or is it?
No, not at all. It's all
fiction?
Different characters. It's totally fiction. But there are lessons in there. Like, I had one character come in the office, because I'm kind of like a therapist too, you know, a life coach, okay? And the girl had a weight problem. And so my advice to her in the book, or the girl's name is Deidre. That's the life coach. So when she counseled her, she came up with a chart to help her lose weight, but not only lose weight, but just start eating a healthier diet. I think diet is so important, and that God really wants us to take care of our bodies and just be all we can be. And so I believe that the body, that we should eat about 70% fresh fruits and vegetables, because they're live, you know? And I would think that live foods would maintain life better. And I think we need to drink, probably those oldies but goodies, whoever said we should drink 8 glasses of water a day, they're probably right, because the body's about 80% water.
Well, I want to ask you one more thing, because we're almost running out of time, but we really didn't talk about your life in Nashville.
Yeah.
So you went from Hollywood to Nashville, and you've been around the legends of country music. Is there anybody that, you know, that you can think of that has just, you know, inspired you here?
I'm probably closer to Jeannie C. Riley.
Okay.
As you know, just as friends, because we talk on the phone and stuff. But I would like to suggest that spiritually, after I was diagnosed with MS, I started studying about the spirit, mind, and body. Anyway, that little book led to my studying the Bible more. I have a book called New Testament in a Year, and the lessons are, you know, divided into the days, each day. So each morning I study the Bible about an hour and read good books to help me grow and to inform me about different things and how to protect ourselves and all that. But I think my biggest inspiration there was Kenneth Hagin. He had organic some kind of organic heart disease. They didn't give him any chance for life. And he started studying the Word, and God healed him. And so he's just a wonderful representative of faith.
Somebody's listening to you today who might be going through MS, lost a loved one. Real quick, what would you say to them?
You got to go to God. You just have to. And it's a life-changing experience when you start trying to develop your spirit and grow closer to God and believe that He's real and He lives in our hearts. We don't know how, you won't know everything, but I just trust in Him with all my heart, and that scripture says, lean not to your own understanding,
And you are still the happiest girl in the USA.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Donna, thank you so much. What a blessing and honor to
Thank
be
you,
here.
Terry. You're just beautiful, and I appreciate.
Well, you are beautiful.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
My friend, are you struggling? Are you going through a situation or a trial that you just don't understand? Always count on the Lord. He is with you. He will get you through it. This is today's Nashville. This is Faith.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.